G'day guys, welcome to the channel. Back here in Australia in my lovely beautiful home, but I would rather still be in Italy at the moment and wanted to just make this video showcasing myself exploring the Amalfi coast as well as Naples. So I spent about a week overall at Naples and Amalfi in total. So in Naples only a day, Amalfi coast however I was there for about 6 days, and there are a number of things to consider when going to Naples and Amalfi. So let's jump straight into the footage I shot in Naples and Amalfi. I'll do a bit of a voiceover and then we'll come back here and finish off the video. So, kicking things off from Athens, the first stop was Naples, and everyone's always told me, be careful in Naples. It's considered top 10 dangerous cities in Europe. It's considered the bowels of Italy, which I think that's an unfair description, but as you can see on the screen, the roads and the city itself, there is quite a bit of garbage out. But that's not to say that it's a bad place. Now, when first going into Naples, you might feel a bit sketchy about the environment and just the location itself. The traffic is horrendous, everyone's driving fast, furiously, and there's a lot of garbage everywhere. However, if you look past that, there's some great food to be had there. So you really need to look at the charm in Naples. And moving from Naples, we're going off to the Amalfi coast. In order to get there, you have to take a ferry from Naples to the Amalfi coast. Something to be prepared for. Naples is a relatively cheap place to just enjoy yourself, right? You can get food for cheap. Stuff is actually cheap as well if you wanted to get shoes, fashion stuff, and things of that nature. However, Amalfi coast is kind of like the cousin of Mykonos. It is quite touristy, trappy, and it's really geared to the visitors. And there's other places around the coast that you can visit, like Positano, Capri, Sorrento. It's all kind of in the same realm of touristy, trappy kind of vibes. But if you get past that, it is actually quite pleasurable, quite relaxing, and it's very charming. Now, as a tip, when you are at the coast, try and avoid the pizza. That's not to say that the pizza is bad, but they do pastas a lot more better than the pizzas. And when you're in Amalfi, try and look around the area. There is other places to look at, like Ravello is quite nice, which is more inland. Positano was cool. The only place I didn't quite like was Capri, and I was told we needed to go on boat tours to fully appreciate it, but it felt super touristy, trappy. So there's an attraction called the Blue Grotto Cave. So you go into a little rowboat and you go into this under cave experience. Now, that experience only lasts about like 5-6 minutes, and it costs you about best part of 25 to 30 euro. So for that 5 minutes, you're effectively spending about 60-65 Australian dollars, and it's kind of the theme there, right? Not to mention in Capri, it's more expensive than the other places in the coast. I don't know why, don't quote me on that, see it for yourself, but yeah. Otherwise, the Amalfi coast, completely safe, no issues whatsoever, but it does have a problem with crowds. There are quite a lot of people. Please, before you go, be prepared, be over-prepared when you're booking your itinerary. So when you're doing your ferry trips, book it in advance. I do recommend Ferry Hopper. Ferry Hopper has helped me out so much in my travels in Europe, as well as a train version of it. I forgot the name of it, but Ferry Hopper, definitely book your tickets online beforehand. The bloody ferries as well, they're not on time as what you would imagine. They're actually very chaotic and very I'll show up when I show up kind of thing. So you really need to plan your adventures out carefully, otherwise you could be in for a stressful adventure. And going back to the crowds, bras, like the crowds are heavy, man. You just gotta watch your surroundings and mind yourself. You're gonna encounter a lot of rude people who's gonna push in and whatnot, but don't let that affect your holiday and getaway. So to recap Amalfi Coast, number one is be prepared, be over-prepared when booking your itinerary. Everything is very chaotic, especially with the crowd, so you just have to mentally prepare yourself for that. Secondly is be prepared for the prices of everything, because it is more of a touristy destination. Everything is inflated, so just keep that in mind. Otherwise, that's really it. The place is very safe. I never felt once that I was gonna get robbed for my watch or anything. And even at the beach, leaving our stuff on the beds there, it was fine. The watch game in Amalfi Coast was pretty heavy, as you can imagine. It's more of a touristy destination. A lot more people with more money is coming over here, so the watch game will definitely be heavy. To summarize the Amalfi Coast, it is definitely worth it. Go at least once in your lifetime. Just be prepared mentally for everything. And try to enjoy yourself as much as you can while you're there. In all honesty, when I was here, I felt like I spent too many days in the coast. 6 days here, could have easily condensed it down to 4. The weather was actually really nice while I was here. It was scheduled to rain quite heavily, but luckily and fortunately, as you can see in the videos, the sun was out and it was quite beautiful. So to summarize the video, if you're planning to go to Naples, don't be afraid. A lot of people who've gone before me have told me that Naples is the bowels, is the ass of Italy. They don't like it. And I feel like that's very presumptuous. I feel like that's judging a book by its cover to a T. It isn't bad. And yes, it is a bit rough around the edges, but so is a lot of places. And if you look past that, Naples is fine. It's also safe as well. It's fine, like it's fine. You just have to keep your wits about you and you just have to be open-minded, right? Like, number one, they drive like crazy. They're all crazy people there when it comes to driving and just traffic in general. So don't be offended if someone doesn't give you way. That's just the way it is. Number two, everyone's fast, right? You have to just make your mind up. You got to make your decision up, right? Like, sure, if you're on holiday, you want to take your time, but you just have to have an idea of what you want. So, great example, if you're at a restaurant, before going in, have a look at the menu, have an idea of what you want. And finally, just have fun. Just have fun in Naples while you're there. It's not bad. It's not a bad place. The pizza is probably the best I've had in all of Italy. I went to Orvieto, Rome, Amalfi, the places around Amalfi as well, like, what's his face, Capri and all that. And yeah, the pizza is the best in Naples. So just go there, enjoy. I wish that I bought stuff in Naples. The stuff in Naples is actually a lot better in terms of like fashion stuff, right? It's a lot better in terms of pricing and availability than other places like Rome, but whatever. Now, with the Amalfi Coast, I'm a bit indifferent about it. So Amalfi Coast, you know, it's classified and generalized as like a romantic getaway. It's supposedly very nice, and it's in the same realm as like your Mykonos and whatnot. It is a tourist trap, so it's expensive. Just get that out of the way. Though Amalfi in itself, the actual Amalfi Coast, it's fine. The wine places we went to were great. The restaurants were okay. There was one, the first dish I had was bad in Amalfi Coast, which was, it was a pizza, right? And it was shit. But outside of that, there really isn't much to do. You just do hikes, you see the sights, you try the food, and you know, like you can probably spend maybe 3 days in Amalfi, maybe 2. I think 2 days just in Amalfi. Make the most out of it. You have to go to the different places. So Positano, there was also Ravello, Capri. You go to the different places to experience everything, and they're all very similar to each other, right? Like Positano is kind of like Amalfi, Amalfi is kind of like Ravello. Ravello is more inland and Amalfi is on the coast. The beaches, I'm not a fan of, so I'm spoiled because I'm in Australia. Australia, I feel like, has the best beaches in the world. I've been in beaches and all over the world, right? And Mykonos was fine, it was a good beach. The beaches in Italy so far, I haven't really liked them, right? And not because they're bad or anything, it's just they're not as good as back here in Australia. Australia has the best beaches, hands down. It is what it is, I'm just saying. But if you're planning to go to the Amalfi Coast, I would say just kind of condense your trip. Then don't spend too long down there. It's not really worth staying that long. For myself, since I stayed there for about 5 or 6 days, after the 4th day, I was pretty much done. They're like, yep, I want to go on to the next place, please, because I've done everything. Not to mention, out of all the places there, my least favorite was Capri. I didn't like Capri because I was told you have to be on a boat to actually appreciate it. I just didn't like Capri. But anywho, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And the final exploring Europe video is going to be on Rome and Orvieto, so hopefully I can get that done and posted, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.